Thank you, Ted. Okay, so is everybody ready for the main event? This next man, it is my honor to introduce a dedicated leader who has tirelessly served our community. He has been a strong advocate for fiscal responsibility, serving on the Will County Board since 2012. He has also served as the Homer Township Supervisor from 2021 to 2025 and was the chair of the Homer Township Republican Organization. In 2011, he was one of the 3 founders of the Will County Tea Party Alliance. There we go. Ensuring that grassroots conservative values have a strong voice in our community. In July of 2024, he was an RNC delegate for President Donald J. Trump. And in February of 2025, he was recognized for his leadership and awarded the President's Lifetime Achievement Award from the Greater Chicago Black Chamber of Commerce. He is also the chair of the Will County Freedom Caucus. He has continually fought against raising taxes and government overreach. Please join me in welcoming me to the platform and share his vision of Will County. Let's give a warm welcome for Steve Balich.
Started out in 1983. That's as far back as I can remember. I was a ward committeeman in the 13th ward, and I had to go against Michael Madigan. And I was a Bernard Epton supporter. Can anybody in this room remember Bernard Epton? So when I talk about something like that, they go, well, how'd you get to be the ward committee? And I thought about it, and I go, I don't really remember. I probably had to knock on a lot of doors. I don't know how else I would have got it. But from there, I decided to keep going with politics. I moved out of Cook County and came out this way. And I joined the Republican Party. And I was a committeeman. And then I got on the township board. I was a trustee for 4 years, for 8 years rather. And then clerk for 4 years. And then fast forward, I understood township government. I understood that they were ripping you off. The whole time I was on there, I would fight about it, but I was the only one to fight. Nobody wanted to fight. So I learned one thing from Father Tom. God does never want us to be afraid of anything. Never. 365 times in the Bible says, do not be afraid. So I take that to heart. And I ain't afraid of nothing. So I've been doing that without knowing what God had said. So when the township government came along, I got a crew together, and the crew that I put together, we went from $1,800,000 for the levy down to $1,400,000 in 4 years. How did we do that? Well, all you have to do is get real smart board members. Angel Shea, Mike Bonoma, the guy walking around with the raffle tickets. Brent Porfilio, he was a highway commissioner. Trying to remember. Carmen Morello was our assessor, or still is. Dominic Vasella, he was a collector. Rose Fialco was a collector. Wait, Rose was, I get mixed up. You were the, what title did I give you? Consultant. But the whole point of this is every single person had a reason why they were there, and everybody did a great job. And because everybody wanted to do a good job, and everyone cared, we were able to cut the levy every single year. Now, in the last election, 2,386 Democrat or people that never voted Republican crossed over and voted in our primary, in the Republican primary, and we lost. So now you got warm bodies in there. So I know that we're going to have problems because they don't understand government. So I understood, and I knew that the people that were on our board were terrific human beings. Besides wanting to help, but they had a heart, and they believed in God, and they believed in helping people. And that's what made us really good. And then we had outside help with Christina Clausen, and Jay Brody. We had the Homer Republicans, and we didn't give up. We just went to every meeting so they couldn't, the other side had won the elections because they had a bunch of money and we didn't. And we had committeeman races with signs, literature, and door knocking. Just think of that. So we spent a lot of money and a lot of time. And the other side outdid us because they had more money and more time. And they like to hang around in bars, and we don't. So, you know, how that works. But anyway, going forward, we never give up. So I formed the Will County Freedom Caucus. How? I called the Freedom Caucus and I asked permission. I said, can I use this name? Right? Because how do I fight a Republican, Homer Township Republican organization when I am considered an outsider now? So what I did, I took that name and I ran with it. They told me, you can do it, but just don't mess it up. And they used our words. But anyway, we ran with it. And we became the Will County Freedom Caucus. And we had a great dinner last year. We had about 300 people show up at our Freedom Day dinner in February. And how did we get it organized so well? Well, guess what? Jay Rody's wife, Karen, Angel Shake, Jennifer Consolino, Badly Medema. I'm trying to remember all the ladies. But all the ladies put it together. Why weren't the guys putting it together? Because the guys can't do that there. The women know how to do it. And I see all the women smiling because it's true. So, on a political level, I don't give up ever. The only way they're going to get me is to throw me in a box. Because I ain't ever going to give up. And I know how to fight back. And I'm not afraid to fight back. So, you know what? All the stuff that's happening, I just keep it, watch it, figure it out. And I come up with a solution. How do I come up with a solution? When I go to bed, I say, hey God, I got a problem again. And guess what? I wake up in the morning and I know the solution. I don't think the solution, I know it. And then I follow through. Because if you've got a solution and you sit on your rear end and do nothing, then the solution matters not. So whenever something goes on, I go out and I actually do what I say. And I found out a long, long time ago when I was a young kid, you never lie to anybody, ever. You tell the truth, whether it's good or bad, they get mad, whatever, don't matter. Never lie. Democrats lie. All the time. All the time. Republicans, some of them do, some of them don't. But this one ain't going to lie. And I'm going to tell you like it is. And I've done it so many times I don't care anymore because if I know it's right, I'm going to do it. And I sometimes piss off a lot of my friends. But you know what? It's not to hurt them. It's because if we're going to go forward and win, we got to work as a team. So right now the Freedom Caucus has 38 members. So that's pretty good in a matter of a couple months. It's not quite a year yet. So we got 38, and then Camille Holcomb, she's the chair of Lockport. She wants me to come out there and get her people involved. Why does she want her people involved? Because we discovered a way that we used to do in the past. We called it the Conservative Committeeman Project back in the Tea Party day. Remember that? Dawn, we had over 11,000 members in our Tea Party. It was huge. Debbie and her husband, and Dawn, and Sue used to go, Susan work over there, Annette Parker. I'm looking around the room. I'm getting blind from so far away looking at everybody. But you know what? The Tea Party was a rocking and rolling thing, and everyone had a good time. Charlie Kirk used to come out and speak at our Tea Party rallies. Charlie Kirk used to come to my fundraisers and speak. And then I used to go around locally around here, sometimes kind of far up the north side, but mostly around here, and we'd give talks with townships. And guess who'd be there? Charlie Kirk. Me and Charlie would be sharing the mic. So it was all good. It was all real good stuff. So, we go back with all this stuff, and Charlie was a great speaker, and he was inspirational, and he was a young kid. I don't remember how old he was, but I'm thinking maybe about 20. Was that about it, Deb?
Yeah, I think it was
19, 20. And then how about when we had a rally or we had a fundraiser and he wasn't speaking, he'd bring a table and he'd hand out literature. And his literature usually said, communism sucks or socialism sucks. That was his main thing. Charlie was a great guy. God bless his soul. Look what he's done for everybody. But I just want to tell you guys, when you start looking at people that are running against you, because I know one guy for sure, then maybe a second guy, and maybe a third guy, but I don't really care. But when they're running against me, there isn't one of them that understands government. The one guy is a city councilman in the village of Homer Glen. He's been on the board for about 7, 8 months, something like that. And he's running for county board. He has no clue what the county board is either. So, I look at that and I go, you know what? Probably a nice guy, but he ain't gonna win. He has no friggin' idea how to do that stuff. So, I just want everyone to know that I have a lot of support from everybody in the room. I got support from a lot of the mayors that are running, except for the one here. That's life, right? But anyway, my accomplishments are high, and then when you start talking about accomplishments, people go, why don't you just shut up? I can go read about it in some book or some magazine or something, or I can go Wikipedia. Really, people don't care. People gotta just know that when I get on the board, I'm going to fight, and I'm not going to give up, and I keep fighting. I fought for 2.5 years for 143rd Street to stop. I fought with the state's attorneys, fought with everybody involved, and I don't care. And every time it was an issue for land use, I would fight for the people. I don't want big government. I want the people represented. I care about human beings, not government. Government to me sucks. I do not like government. I want the people represented. So when you go out and you hustle up votes for me, which I really need, you know darn well I'm going to be protecting your rights. Because I don't like big government. I don't like solar. I vote no to all the solar. And those people get mad. And I'm telling them they're wasting good farmland. They're destroying Illinois so they can make a couple bucks because they get money from the government. And the government shouldn't pay them. And the state of Illinois is a bunch of idiots. I was going to use a different word, but I think idiot's a better word. How do you pass a law that you have to allow solar companies to come in and use good farmland? You have to allow it. So our county now, the Republicans especially, We're voting no, so we have 5 lawsuits right now with the state. And they're going to keep coming because we're not going to give in. So with that, I think I talked a little bit too much, but God bless everybody here. Yeah, you got something?
No, I'm just going with that. We're second yesterday on Steve Balich.
Amen.
God bless everybody.
Okay, that was Steve Balich, everybody. Okay, we have a couple of candidates here. We just want to mention their names, and Steve's going to read the list.
We got Dave Oxley, he's on the county board in District 6, he's with me, and he's a fighter also, real good guy. We got David Laborde, he's the singer. We've got Hugh Stibbin. Hugh was a past chair of the Will County Central Committee for 2.5 terms. And we have Jim Mostis, he was the speaker of the Will County Board, and he was also the Republican leader and the head of Frankfurt Republicans. So he did a lot of stuff. And Dawn Dominani, she's the Torrey Township collector. And Debbie Perlitis, Debbie's the vice president of Moms for America, one of my favorite women groups. And lastly, we got the most important person in the room, Annette Parker. She's the clerk in Will County, and she controls the vote. And you know what? I forgot to say something, and it's real important because the most important person right now is Annette to get elected. So that way they can't cheat. But after that, you got Carmen Morella, the gentleman that's running for treasurer. And you want to know why? Just think about this. His main platform is that when they give a tax sale, because you can't pay your property taxes, you're old and you miss a couple payments, and then they come in with a tax sale, they take your house for the taxes. You lose all your equity. The Supreme Court passed a law in 2023 that says they cannot do that anymore. Illinois is one of the states that doesn't obey the Supreme Court law. Carmen Morella will enforce that law in Will County. That means, just think of this, that means that if you have a $300,000 house and you owe $50,000 in taxes, the government gets their $50,000, but they got to pay you the difference. $250,000. So remember Carmen Morella. God bless you.
All right, thank you. One more round of applause for Steve, everybody.